when did you decide to tell the truth?
Went through my phone and seen a text message I had sent to my cousin. He couldn't have been the father.
I'm missing some facts.
Why doubt the baby?
Cause it's like the friends she hang out with, I don't agree with them. None of them.
So it made you feel like birds of a feather may flock together?
You said you caught her with her ex and you saw text messages?
No, you didn't. You lying.
What did you see?
How you doing? What you doing tonight? Oh, nothing. Can you come chill with me? Oh, my old man here.
Ms. Davis claims with certainty that Mr. Gilbert is the biological father of her son Corey. She believes that Mr. Gilbert's doubt about being the father is fueled by the influence of his sister, while Mr. Gilbert concedes that he initially believed he was Corey's father. Rumors from his family changed his perspective. Family needs to stop being Karen.
Ms. Davis, you say that you are convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt Mr. Gilbert is your son Corey's father. You feel the only reason Mr. Gilbert is denying paternity is because he has been brainwashed and manipulated by his meddling sister. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Gilbert, you admit you once believed you were Corey's father, but began to have doubts once your family heard rumors that her son was fathered by another man.
Judge Lake questions Mr. Gilbert's paternity doubts despite his desire to have a baby with Ms. Davis. Mr. Gilbert's suspicions arise from his disapproval of Ms. Davis's friends. However, Ms. Davis defends herself, emphasizing that Mr. Gilbert knew of her friendships beforehand. The judge is surprised to learn they were only together for 4 months before the pregnancy.
Mr. Gilbert, did you tell her you want to have a baby?
Yes, Your Honor.
So why doubt the baby?
Cause it's like the friends she hang out with, I don't agree with them. None of them.
So it made you feel like birds of a feather may flock together?
They always do.
But I'm my own person. I'm my own person. I know who I want.
So you admit that your friends are kind of out there, Miss Davis, but you say
No.
that you aren't?
No.
So I don't understand how this beautiful relationship went wrong.
Mr. Gilbert, once confident in his paternity, is now in doubt due to family influence. Looking at a photo where he kisses Ms. Davis's pregnant stomach, both appear blissfully happy. He is deeply upset, wanting the child to be his. However, family disagreements cast uncertainty over the child's paternity.
He expressed any doubt?
No.
Mr. Gilbert, did
was
you have
happy.
any doubt?
No, ma'am.
And so now I'm looking at this photo. You look happy. You look like you in a relationship. You all look like you a couple. And so, oh, this is you. Oh, I always love these shots. You kissing the stomach. So you went through everything. And you thought this was your baby. What upsets
no,
you?
this is
What
baby.
what upsets you, Mr. Gilbert?
His family.
Ms. Jones asserts that the child doesn't resemble her brother, Mr. Gilbert. As doubts surfaced during Ms. Davis's pregnancy, Jones mentioned that Gilbert had been told he couldn't produce kids due to scarlet fever. Yet, Davis argues that while other women claim to be pregnant by Gilbert, she was the one who actually was.
Does her
Yes.
nowhere. He doesn't. He doesn't look like my brother at all. He doesn't.
Did the doubt happen while Ms. Davis was pregnant?
When
What
she
was
was
y'all
pregnant, she used to be in my grandma and my mom's house all the time. We
Yeah,
started denying.
fake love.
We never believed it because he's sick. We never believed it.
Well, how-
so
what you
He's
got?
sick.
once she had
What he
it,
got?
once,
Wait,
once
he's
the baby.
sick? What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
it was told by a family member that he was sick with scarlet fever where he could produce kids.
Ms. Jones states that she heard rumors about Ms. Davis having threesomes and being pregnant before meeting her brother. Ms. Davis firmly denies these allegations, emphasizing that she planned her child with Mr. Gilbert and that these rumors are baseless. Mr. Gilbert seems to be caught between the conflicting accounts.
Our family has grew up there, so they know. Of course, this is my brother, so I'm going to defend. If somebody's coming to me with information about my brother, then of course I'm not going to believe it. I'm going to believe because I don't know her.
I need you to be specific as to what you heard.
First of all, she was having threesomes with men. She was already pregnant before she met my brother. That's what I heard.
Fight for the
Okay, let's
TV,
go
that's
one at a time. Ms. Davis, is that true?
No, they can't even tell you that I talked to anybody while you sitting up here doing all that.
Ms. Schenk claims that Mr. Robinson began doubting the paternity of their daughter, Serenity, when she turned 2, causing him to distance himself, which hurts their child. Mr. Robinson asserts that he was deeply involved in Serenity's life from her birth. However, when Ms. Schenk, behaving like a Karen, suddenly suggested he might not be the biological father.
Ms. Shank, you claim that when your daughter Serenity turned 2, Mr. Robinson began to doubt paternity.
Yes, Your Honor.
And since then, you claim he's pulled away from your child and it's now breaking your heart to watch her suffer.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Robinson, you state from the moment Serenity was born, you were actively involved in her life and developed a very strong bond.
Yes, Your Honor.
Around 5 months into her pregnancy, Ms. Schenk admitted to Mr. Robinson that she had slept with one of his friends, casting doubt on who the biological father was. Ms. Schenk was initially unsure about the paternity when she discovered she was pregnant, as she had been in an on-again, off-again relationship with Mr. Robinson.
She told me that she had slept with a friend of mine, and and didn't know if I was the father or if he was the father.
So she came clean.
Yes, ma'am.
So Ms. Shank, that happened.
Yes, Your Honor.
Please talk to me. Fill me in. When you found out you were pregnant, did you think he was the father, or did you know right off the bat there could possibly be another father?
I didn't know. When I first found out I was pregnant, he was there, like he said.
Ms. Shank admitted to Mr. Robinson that she had relations with another man when the condom broke. She originally believed Mr. Robinson was the father, but doubt arose, prompting her to text her cousin about her concerns. Despite the uncertainty, Mr. Robinson was present at the birth and remained involved in the child's life.
What do you mean it didn't add up? It did
time-
add up because you wouldn't have written that text if you didn't think that.
The condom broke when I slept with the other person.
Okay, so what I'm saying is when you found out you were pregnant, you said you really felt it was Mr. Robinson's baby. At what point did that feeling change for you so that you would send that text to your cousin? You were replaying it in your mind?
You can say that, yes.
Okay, so when the baby was born,
Mr. Robinson began to distance himself from Serenity after learning that Ms. Shank planned to have another man tested for paternity. She couldn't locate the other man, but believed her daughter looked more like him than Mr. Robinson. Despite their rocky relationship, the two share another child, which Ms. Shank confirms looks like Mr. Robinson.
so at what point did you begin to step back from Serenity after she was born, and why? Because you already knew at 5 months.
I found out that she was having the other guy tested, or she wanted to get tested.
You made plans to have the other man tested?
Yes, but couldn't find him. Because when my daughter was first born, she didn't look anything like him. She looked just like the other man.
And so, as Mr. Robinson was bonding with the baby,
After talking to his father, Ms. Shank's son tells Serenity, "That's not your daddy." The judge remarks that children shouldn't be involved in adult matters. Then, Ms. Shank's mother, Donna Shank, steps up to testify. She's present to support her daughter and is asked about her observations of the situation.
Even sometimes when my son talks to his father on the phone, and after he gets off, Serenity says, "I want to talk to daddy," and my son says, "That's not your daddy."
how would a child know to tell another child that's not your father? See, that's a child in grown folks' business where he doesn't belong. That's TMI for a child. So now your son looks at your daughter and says, "That's not your daddy."
Yes.
And she's brokenhearted.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Hillman claims Mr. O'Neill got her pregnant and hasn't done anything for their 13-month-old son, DeMarcus. She wants a DNA test to prove he is the father. O'Neill is certain he's not the biological father. Ms. Hillman reveals that Mr. O'Neill has no relationship with DeMarcus and doesn't provide financially. Her mother and the baby's godmother help her instead.
Ms. Hillman, you and your mother are appearing today because you claim the defendant got you pregnant and has since refused to do anything for your 13-month-old son, DeMarcus. You've petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that he is DeMarcus's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. O'Neill, you say you are 100% certain you are not her son's biological father and you plan...
Mr. O'Neill admits that he expressed interest in being in a relationship with Ms. Hillman shortly after meeting her. However, he now doubts he's the father of her child, suspecting she might have been pregnant before they met. Ms. Hillman and her family believe the child looks like Mr. O'Neill and argue he should take responsibility.
So, Mr. O'Neill, what you're saying now is you told her you wanted her to be your girlfriend, but
Yeah, I
now
said-
you say since she had sex
Yeah, I
with
said-
you the second night after
It
she
ain't
met
mine.
you don't believe that
No.
you're the only person she was sleeping with.
I think she was pregnant before she met me.
He needs to step up and do something for him. When she got ready to have him, he left.
But see, that's the point, y'all.
He left.
She know that's her grandson, but do I know that's my child?
He looked just like you.
Mr. O'Neill alleges he saw Ms. Hillman in suspicious situations with her ex, pointing to text messages between them as proof. Ms. Hillman denies these accusations. Mr. O'Neill claims he physically caught her with her ex on her mom's porch, which Ms. Hillman vehemently refutes.
What did you see?
How you doing? What you doing tonight? Oh, nothing. Can you come chill with me? Oh, my old man here.
So, Mr. O'Neill, did you ever physically catch her with another man? Ever?
Yeah, on her mama's porch.
Why is you
With her
lying?
ex.
Your Honor, let me tell you what happened.
And I left that
My
same
three-
night, and I think they laid around. That's why I got my daughter.
My 3-year-old.
Tell me what happened.
Mr. O'Neill recounts an incident at the park where he was approached by a stranger, inquiring if he was Ms. Hillman's baby daddy. After confirming, the stranger alleges that the baby actually belongs to his friend. Mr. O'Neill's reaction in this situation made him seem like he was trying to act like a Karen.
Just like that random guy when I was chilling with my homeboy. The random guy asked me to my, "Oh, you Lenasia baby daddy?" Yeah, sure, of course. Well,
So wait a minute, hold on. You just chilling out by yourself.
uh-huh.
And what happens?
Me and my homeboy, we're in the park chilling. A random guy. He walked by first. He ain't said nothing. Walked by the second time and looked me up. And so he was like, "You little Ned's baby daddy?" I said, "Yeah." "Why? What's the problem?" "Oh, that's supposed to be my homeboy, baby. Did she tell you that?"
Judge Lake addresses Mr. O'Neill about his doubts concerning the paternity of DeMarcus. Initially, Mr. O'Neill accepted the child, but as DeMarcus grew, he began to have reservations, fearing the child didn't resemble him. Ms. Hillman disputes this, arguing that DeMarcus shares noticeable traits with Mr. O'Neill's family. Does the DNA report reflect the same?
And then when he got older, what happened?
He started not looking like me.
And look at yourself in the mirror. He look like you. He like all your family. All y'all got big eyes, big lips, big nose. Look at the cheeks. He got bags under his eyes just like you and your mama.
But no, Mr. O'Neill, I have to say this to you because you say you've been through this before.
Yeah, I have been through this before.
So at the point, was it that you were struggling and you were at war in your own mind and for a minute you accepted the baby and you...
Mr. Watson disputes being the father of Ms. Mahoney's son, Kevin, suspecting she was with 2 other men during his absence. Ms. Mahoney, acting like a Karen, adamantly denies these accusations and is almost certain of Mr. Watson's paternity. Mr. Watson states their relationship and future marriage hinges on the paternity test results, hoping Kevin is his biological son.
Mr. Watson, you are in court to prove that you are not the biological father of the defendant's 4-year-old son, Kevin. You say that while you were away, Ms. Mahoney was having sexual relationships with 2 different men and either of them could be the father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Mahoney, you say you are 99.999% sure that Mr. Watson is the father and deny his accusations of infidelity.
Mr. Watson claims Ms. Mahoney had 2 men living with her, providing gifts and support. She confirms this, but explains it was due to her financial struggles, and they were family friends. She asserts she only offered them a place to stay, denying any other involvement. Mr. Watson, skeptical, believes they were not just close family friends.
2 men staying with her, and they were showering her with gifts and taking care of her. Now, me as a man personally, I'm not gonna do that for no woman.
Being a man, though, you should have left me.
I never left.
Ms. Mahoney, did you have 2 men living with you?
Yes, ma'am.
You did?
I had no job. I had nothing to fend for myself. They were close family friends, and they just wanted to help me help them. I agreed to let them stay, and if I needed some toilet paper down, anything.
The conversation revolves around the distinction between being a father and a dad. Mr. Watson argues about the responsibilities he missed while being away and is upset about other men being around the child. A clarification is sought about whether another man claimed to be the biological father or simply taking the role of a father figure.
There's a difference between a father and a dad. Just know that.
What you mean? He the one talking about that. That's his kid.
He provided for him.
Okay, I was away. I couldn't.
When I called you and he was hungry, then what?
I was away. There was nothing I could do.
Like I said, there's a difference between being a father
and...
if
he was my kid, so bring other men around my kid?
Mr. Watson, I do want to make a clarification. Did he say he was the biological father?
The dialogue delves into allegations of infidelity. Mr. Watson brings up accusations he heard about Ms. Mahoney's alleged relations with multiple men. These claims were apparently made by her former friend, who also stated they were intimate under a bridge. Ms. Mahoney confronts Mr. Watson about this, pointing out the hypocrisy in his accusations towards her.
Mr. Watson?
The friend told me how she was sleeping with multiple men, plus the 2 staying with her, and how men were crawling through the window late at night, get them little midnight
house, so why would I have to have somebody crawl through a window?
And this is what her former friend told you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because I just found out they had sexual intercourse under a bridge, okay? Under a bridge.
No, Your Honor, no, I did not.
Not sex. What did she do?
Ms. Mahoney recounts the emotional aftermath of discovering what transpired between Mr. Watson and her best friend. This revelation led to Mr. Watson expressing doubts about the paternity of their child, even influencing the naming process. In response to the paternity questions, Ms. Mahoney sought out a DNA test through government assistance in conjunction with child support.
What had happened between them, he just was really upset and told me I couldn't name him a junior. So I came Kevin. That's really close, that I had been sleeping with him and they're his kids. So I went and we got DNA.
You took a DNA test?
Yes, ma'am.
What happened?
I went and was on government assistance and child support. We had to comply with them. And they asked me who the father was. I told them who he was.
The The court, having done its own research, discovered that it typically takes between 2 weeks to a month to obtain such results. Yet Ms. Mahoney took 7 months. She couldn't explain the delay, leading to doubts from Mr. Watson. In defense, Ms. Mahoney expresses her shock that in court, the question of a delayed DNA result becomes the focus.
So when this court contacted your home state, because we do our investigation as well.
Yes, ma'am.
We wanted to find out how long it should take to get results. And we were told that it takes about 2 weeks to 1 month. So Ms. Mahoney, why would it take 7 months to get these results?
I don't know why, and we were together and they showed up.
Ms. Crow has brought Ms. Reinhart to court to prove that Ms. Reinhart's deceased son, J.C. Turner, is the father of Ms. Crow's 2-year-old son, Thomas. Ms. Crow wants her son to know his family heritage. Ms. Reinhart, however, believes that Ms. Crow is falsely claiming J.C. as the father in order to gain financial benefits from his death.
Ms. Crow, you have summoned the defendant to court to prove that her deceased son, J.C. Turner, fathered your 2-year-old son, Thomas. You want Thomas to know who his father is, and you say that Ms. Reinhart has done everything she can to sabotage your efforts. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Reinhart, you state that Ms. Crow is a liar and a manipulator.
Ms. Crow met Jay at a skate park, and they quickly became close. They entered a relationship, had unprotected sex, and she later became pregnant. Jay was happy about the pregnancy and never denied being the father. If alive, she believes they wouldn't be in court over paternity issues.
So, Ms. Crow, can you talk to me about the relationship?
When I first met Jay, we were at a skate park. I noticed him in the parking lot and I called him over to me and we had a conversation. From that conversation, we ended up walking to the store. We had, became inseparable. We, developed, feelings, and it did happen all too fast. He did ask me to be his girlfriend, and we did have unprotected sex.
Ms. Reinhart believes her son was too close to her to hide a child. She argues that her grandchildren all resemble her and displays their similarities using baby pictures. Ms. Crow counters, saying her genes are strong. She believes her son shares traits and behaviors with Jay.
And she could have told him that she was pregnant, that's his baby.
So you're saying he did not have the discernment to even say, I don't believe that's my baby?
No, I've had 8 grandkids, and all 8 of my grandkids favor me. I've got a baby picture. If I take that baby picture, I could put it up against my daughter. I could even put it up against my 18-year-old granddaughter. I could put it up against Jay's brother. I could put it up against Jay's baby picture.
The speaker recounts ending a relationship due to concerns over her partner's behavior and safety concerns for her children. Despite difficulties reaching Ms. Reinhart, she sent her partner to Topeka, Kansas. When their son Thomas was born, JC proudly claimed him, and the speaker remained confident that JC was the father, having been with no one else.
I have decided to no longer go any further in the relationship because I have 2 other kids, I'm pregnant, and he's a grown man. He's doing what he wants to do, and I can't stop him. He comes home one night, and he's drunk. He left the door wide open. We don't live in the best neighborhood. So that was the last straw. I didn't want nothing bad to happen to me or my children or him in my care. I was gonna send him to you.
The speaker describes being separated from JC, living in different locations. She discovers JC's passing through a Facebook post by a mutual friend. In her distress, she confirms his death with the coroner's office. She highlights that she was the one who informed Ms. Reinhart of JC's demise. Where will the DNA result lead this case?
So he saw him at 3 months old, but never saw him again for 9 months? He never saw the baby?
I'm telling you, I was living in Vegas. When we and him were together, we lived in Henderson together. He was in Henderson, I was in Vegas. I didn't have a phone number, he didn't have no way to contact me. I didn't even know he was still here until I'm scrolling down my newsfeed on Facebook and I see a mutual friend of ours post, "Rest in peace, Jay," with his picture.